Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, is best known for his leadership during the Civil War and his commitment to ending slavery. Lincoln was born on February 12, 1809, in a log cabin in Hardin County, now LaRue County, Kentucky. His family was poor, and he grew up in a frontier environment, spending much of his childhood doing hard manual labor on his family's farm. Lincoln had limited formal education, but was an avid reader, teaching himself much of what he knew from books. He moved to Indiana and later to Illinois with his family, where he worked as a farmhand, store clerk, and rail splitter to support his family. Lincoln developed an interest in law and politics and became a lawyer in Springfield, Illinois. Known for his storytelling ability and sense of humor, he quickly earned a reputation for integrity and honesty, earning the nickname Honest Abe. Abraham Lincoln, in 1834, he was elected to the Illinois State Legislature, and he later served a single term in the U.S. House of Representatives. Lincoln gained national attention in 1852 during a series of debates with Stephen A. Douglas. These Lincoln-Douglas debates centered on the issue of slavery and its expansion into new territories. Lincoln argued passionately against the spread of slavery, although he stopped short of calling for immediate abolition in states where it already existed. His moral stance against slavery and his skillful debating style helped him gain prominence on the national stage, setting him up as a strong contender for the presidency. In 1860, Lincoln won the presidential election as the candidate of the newly formed Republican Party, which opposed the expansion of slavery. His election was highly controversial in the southern states, which saw his anti-slavery position as a direct threat. In response, several southern states seceded from the Union, forming the Confederate States of America. In response, several southern states seceded from the Union, forming the Confederate States of America. Lincoln faced the immense challenge of preserving the Union as he took office in 1861, marking the start of the Civil War. Lincoln was a determined and strategic leader during the Civil War. His primary goal was to preserve the Union, but as the war progressed, he saw the necessity of addressing slavery directly. In 1863, he issued the Emancipation Proclamation, declaring all slaves in Confederate states to be free. This bold move not only redefined the purpose of the war, but also paved the way for the eventual abolition of slavery in the United States. Despite facing criticism, Lincoln remained steadfast in his commitment to unity and freedom. He delivered the Gettysburg Address in 1863, a brief but powerful speech that honored fallen soldiers and reaffirmed the nation's commitment to a new birth of freedom. This speech became one of the most famous in American history, encapsulating Lincoln's vision of a united and just nation. In 1865, as the war was nearing its end, Lincoln worked tirelessly to pass the 13th Amendment, which would permanently abolish slavery in the United States. The amendment passed in Congress, marking a monumental victory for civil rights and justice. In April 1865, Confederate General Robert E. Lee surrendered to Union forces, effectively ending the Civil War. Just days after the war's end, Lincoln was assassinated by John Wilkes Booth, a Confederate sympathizer, while attending a play at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C. on April 14, 1865. He died the next day, becoming the first U.S. president to be assassinated. His death shocked the nation, and he was mourned as a hero who preserved the Union and took decisive steps to end slavery. Lincoln's legacy as a leader of extraordinary moral courage and vision endures to this day. He is remembered for his dedication to unity, justice, and equality. His leadership during one of America's darkest times and his commitment to ending slavery transformed the United States, laying the groundwork for civil rights advancements that followed. Monuments, memorials, and a lasting place in history ensure that Lincoln's contributions to American society are honored and remembered.